Do you want to lift and tighten sagging skin, but you don't want the expense or the downtime of a big surgery? There's a new technique you might want to try. This is Dr. J.D. McCoy from Contour Medical, and it's called thread lift therapy. What is that? And you're actually going to do it on the air with Tiffany. So what is this therapy?
This therapy is using a dissolving thread, and what's unique about it is the thread will stimulate collagen. So as it stimulates collagen, we get lifting and improvement in the quality of the tissue.
And so what kind of threads are these? What are they made of?
They're made of something called PDO, polydioxone, and those are actually what's used in cardiac sutures, meaning we use it to sew up the heart. But in this case, we're using it off-label in a much smaller thread that's being used to provide support and stimulate collagen.
Okay, so you're doing a procedure. We know Tiffany has had some numbing so that she doesn't feel it. Do you have any discomfort? No discomfort at all. So who's a good candidate for this type of treatment?
Basically, anybody that has some structural volume loss, anybody that wants to soften fine lines or wrinkles, and I really do like it around the mouth because it provides that structural support that lasts up to 2 years.
Okay, so what happens to the threads?
As the thread is dissolving, the term is hydroxylation, which sounds fancy, but it's just breaking down with water.
Okay.
As that happens, it stimulates new collagen, and that new collagen is going to stick around for up to 2 years.
Okay, so what if someone has fillers already, or is this kind of a complement to that, or?
Absolutely, you hit it on the head. This is a complement to volume, it's not a replacement. The way you can think of it, this is like the rebar in concrete. It provides support, and the concrete is the volume, which would be the filler.
And this is a fairly new treatment that you're doing, and you're always leading. you're always on the leading edge when it comes to new techniques and new treatments to give women and men beautiful, beautiful faces. But this originated in Korea.
Correct. The cutting edge area of the world for cosmetic is definitely Korea, and they were definitely the most progressive when it came to thread treatment.
And still no discomfort, right? And how quickly will she see results, and what's the downtime?
We'll see results right away, but it will improve over a period of 2 to 4 months.
Oh.
And patients can really go back to normal daily activity. The only thing that can happen is sometimes we can have a little bruising, but bruising is minimal.
And that will be how long? Like a day or two?
A day or two, yeah.
Okay.
And there's no restriction as far as makeup is concerned, so a patient can use makeup right after the treatment.
So what areas is this best for? I know you're working around her lip and mouth area, but what areas?
We can treat around the mouth. We can treat in the mid-face and the jawline. It's beautiful in the neck. I've done my mom's neck and chin. You can do it in the chest, and you can even do arms and legs, so you can do it on the body as well.
So can you kind of walk us quickly through the transformation Tiffany's going to see in her face? Is it going to pull back? Is it going to be tightened?
Our focus is more going to be around the lips, and we can already see an improvement in the lip. This is just going to provide some structural support that's going to be really natural looking, because some patients, especially around the mouth, they don't want to look like a duck. They don't want to look weird or overdone. And what this does is gives us just a natural structural correction, meaning things look more defined, a little bit more fullness without overdoing it.
And that's perfect, because we don't want people to look at us and go, what did you have done, right? We want them to look at us and be like, what did you have done? It looks really good. Still no discomfort. And how long will an entire treatment take?
Usually it takes only about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes tops.
Okay, so we're doing half the face right now, and then we'll do the other half in just a little bit. Well, this has been fascinating. You talked and did the procedure at the same time, so there you go. Tiffany, thank you for being a great sport. Dr. McCoy, you're always on the cutting edge of new techniques. And joining us now to talk more about threading, Dr. J.D. McCoy of Contour Medical. It really was fascinating to be in that room and watch the entire process happen. And I know you wanted to specifically talk about the difference between smooth and lifting threads. What is the difference?
The difference is the smooth threads, which we were doing in that segment, are for structural support, stimulating collagen, very small threads. Lifting threads are just a little bit bigger, still very small, you can hardly see them. But there's tiny little barbs on those threads, so it actually will give us a little bit of lift. So where I need to have a little more structural support and lifting, I'll use those threads.
And you've been doing this for years and years, long before it became famous and popular again. How has the industry changed a little bit in how those threads work?
Yeah, the original threads were much more aggressive, and it was a much more complicated procedure, more recovery. This treatment is really easy, it's smooth, little recovery, a little post-treatment swelling and maybe a little bruising, but it's a piece of cake compared to the old procedure.
So let's talk about the aftercare, because there are specific things that clients need to do. And what is that?
Yeah, very simple. I just want you to kind of baby the face a little bit for a couple days. There's no major restrictions, meaning you can resume normal activity, you can exercise, but I want you to take it a little bit easy just because there is a little bit of swelling and a little bit of tenderness, but it's pretty self-limiting.
How is Tiffany doing? She's doing great?
Oh, she loved the result. And that was the icing on the cake for her. That was like the detail that kind of finished her lips.
Yeah, I love it. We're going to look at some before and afters. I know these are not Tiffany. I know you shared, her before and afters with us. But so what are we seeing here, and how many weeks or months later?
This is 6 weeks post, and it's treating the area under the neck, that trouble spot under the neck and the chin, and just giving a little bit of subtle correction, a little bit of tightness. And what we're doing is doing something with zero downtime, because that patient, after I do those threads, can go right back to work, no problem.
All right, so we're going to look now to the left side of the face. Same person?
Same person, and it's just showing just that little area under the chin. You know, that's a common trouble spot for women and men too. I treat a lot of men in the office. And the threads just give that little bit of lift and structure there, which is a really difficult trouble spot. But those threads can be used chin, neck. I've done the décolleté, the chest area. You can do it on the arms and body. But I'd say most of the treatment is on the face.
And so you'll look at each individual face and say, you might be a better candidate for the smooth threads or the lifting threads. It really just depends on where you're having, some issues on your own face, right?
Correct, absolutely.
And you're a perfectionist. I tell you this all the time. I stood in that room with you. You did the threads on Tiffany, but afterwards you weren't completely satisfied. You also applied fillers. Will you do that for folks?
Yeah, most patients I'll definitely look at volume, because as I said in the segment, really the threads complement volume in most cases. Sometimes we can use just the thread, but I would say the home run is a combination of volume correction with the threads for structural support.
Right, and this is just one of the many things that you do there at Contour Medical. You do it all, head to toe beauty. As always, it's a pleasure to sit with you, Dr. McCoy. And he has a special offer for all of you today. The first 10 callers, you will get 20 units of Botox or Dysport with your PDO thread consultation. And if you want to learn more about Dr. McCoy and the latest technology he has for you, visit their website, contourmedical.com, and there you can sign up for their newsletter. It's a great newsletter keeping you up to date on what's happening. 480-545-2832 is the number to call. And also follow them on Facebook and Instagram. They have great social media pages.